Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 405 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gaming podcast for Words About Games, where nothing bad ever happens to any of us ever.
Nope.
Live
No
on
one's.
the pod. Never happened. Never happened. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, hopefully, and I'm joined this week, hopefully, by Mr. Daffod Moody.
I was here for the entire episode last week, so I'm here. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's video game day. My brain is not working properly. The holiest of days. There we go. Boom.
And we're also joined by Vitz Patel.
What's
Funny
good,
about
everybody?
himself.
How's everybody doing?
Good. That's a meme. That's a meme. I thought I downloaded that. Sorry. Yeah. Last week's podcast was funny. I mean, it was terrible
was.
for a variety of reasons.
We do apologize about that, dear listener.
Yeah. I won't lie. It was going so smooth with me and Vitz, and then Amy appeared, and I feel like it just went downhill.
I want to say it was going so smoothly. And Vitz, first of all, I love the fact that you took over the hosting. You did a fantastic job. You broke the one rule of the Words About Games podcast almost immediately, which was never read verbatim what's on the Google Doc, because it's probably not correct.
I panicked. That's what happened there.
For example, you can get this show every Monday.
You can. When it
you can get
drops
any day of the week.
on Friday.
I heard that part when I was there because I thought I'm gonna edit it. I need to watch the part that I wasn't in, and you said it. And I opened the Google Doc and I went, oh fuck. Every Monday.
The thing is this Vitz's fault or is this your fault because you've never updated it?
It's both of our faults.
I'll take that.
For example, Anchor doesn't exist as a platform, and Google Podcast doesn't exist as a platform anymore.
I don't think I read all of those apps.
You didn't, no. Yeah. But now I've looked at it. That's the thing. Now I've looked at it.
Google Podcast doesn't exist anymore?
No.
Is there anything Google hasn't closed?
No, they've rolled Google Podcasts into YouTube.
Yeah. I want to say Google Search, but that's probably broken now as well.
Google Search exists, sort of. You can definitely use it to put glue on your pizzas, or
yeah. Did you know the CIA were just using black highlighters this whole time? Every Onion article you've ever read is now in the results on Google searches.
All the Reddit shit posts.
But
I've now been fed into Google's search results.
Last week's show was something, and Amy apologizes once again for only doing a first half of 37 minutes or whatever it was.
That's fine.
Oh, it was fucking beautiful. Vitz, we would have been out within the hour if Amy didn't show back up, and I know it. I was thinking, oh yeah, we're going to get out of here within the hour, not be here till fucking 10:30 at fucking night. Get fucking going. Boom, 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 boom. And then Amy appears. I'm just like, God damn it.
I can leave now if you want.
Just don't cancel the recording. Just keep on going.
That's fine.
All right, that's cool.
Apparently, I know where I'm not wanted. Mister, I've taken over the podcast. I have all the power, and Amy can't stop me. Brave words. Considering I was editing it, brave words indeed.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have just cut all of you out, and it's just Vitz for the first half by himself talking to nobody.
That's how it usually goes, everybody.
So when he goes, I agree with you, I was thinking, no one knows who he's agreeing with, but who cares?
I thought, like, if I could have been bothered, I did think about making little speech bubbles that would just come up above your head.
Oh, that would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. I would have watched that.
Well, you would have known they were there.
Yeah, I always check the episode.
You would have been like, Dino Crisis sucks. Like, all these things.
Yeah, but the thing is, I always check the episode, so I always give it a look. So
yeah, Bulbasaur isn't really my favorite.
Yeah, Bulbasaur is the worst Pokemon just all the way through the episode.
That's
And I would have got away with it too.
If it wasn't for you meddling kids.
If I could be bothered.
Yeah.
I would have gotten away with it too.
I'll just wait until he forgets. Because as we all know, Moody's very forgetful. I'll wait until he forgets that he said it, and then get him.
There you go. When they're least expecting, absolutely.
Yeah, Moody knows all about being on the receiving end of my wrath.
Do I?
You do.
Oh,
Well,
shit!
I don't
right,
know.
This is how
yeah,
forgetful
yeah,
you are.
I don't know if wrath is the right word. Like,
Yeah,
there
it
no
was more
malice
like
behind
I
it.
didn't do anything at all, and you just decided everybody kill Moody in Among Us.
And then next week, I'm gonna kill a Moody in Among Us.
I'm going to kill Moody right in front of someone, and they're going to go along with it without even saying a fucking word.
That was-
right, Ryan.
That was a
Right,
different
Ryan?
one, and that wasn't my fault. I don't know if you remember that one. That was Ryan saying, "I'll PayPal someone 20 quid to kill Moody," and I walked, and I was the imposter, and I walked in, and he was there, and you were there, and I just killed you. And then we looked at each other, and I was like,
That was the transaction.
"Send you my
There
PayPal."
was a transaction. There's no doubt about it. There was a transaction into me.
I transacted my knife into Moody's back and didn't get paid. I'm actually now that I think about it, you didn't pay me for that.
Damn.
So Ryan's out there just
So hold
owing
on,
you
Ryan.
money.
You owe me 20 quid.
I'll message him that now. Ryan, remember me? Amy says you owe 20 quid
From
for
the beyond the
veil.
I'm looking forward to the day we get Moody and Ryan into Lethal Company together at the same time.
Yes. Or we all get together playing content warning.
Or just
Why?
anything really.
That's true.
We used to play Phasmophobia a lot, but the game got boring.
Boring, or did they just not go in a direction that people wanted?
I don't know what the general consensus is. When they did the update with progression, it was like, it's that thing we've been talking about for ages. About Xbox.
Well,
like,
don't break what ain't neat.
you
Doesn't need
can't-
fixing.
You can't charge for something that you used to give away for
Genie's
free.
out of
It's
bottle.
like, okay, all of the gear that we were used to using in Phasmophobia was like the middle tier stuff. So we had to when we got back into the game after the progression update, and they wiped all of our levels. We found out how long we would have to grind just to get back to where we were. And the stuff that they give
Yeah, that's
you
no fun.
was just the stuff that they gave you just made the game not very fun, and so we gave up on it. We really tried. It's a very good game.
I did not.
No, you were done. It's like, yeah, it just made the game really dull for us. You know,
At the end of the day, the bugger's got the money.
oh yeah, I mean,
Like
I'm
early
sure there's tons
access
of
has
people
been
that
an
love it,
amazing
so-
thing for him, for the team and everything. So, yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who still enjoy it.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. But that is it. It comes a very much like I say wide niche of a game in our small bubble, but then eventually just goes within itself and goes into the small bubble of its people of its real core audience who stick with it all the time and everything. And but like us and everything, we now go away like the dodo and go and play other games.
I will see. I mean, it's not out of early access yet, so we'll probably drop
Yeah,
in on it
maybe
every
when it
time
gets
there's a major
1.0.
update. On the path to 1.0.
Perhaps.
Well, you know, you got to like check out, see what the full vision is, you know, when it comes out. The artistic vision, as I've heard a lot these past few months.
The developer's intent.
Developers intent.
Developers intent. Developers intent.
They
My
sent
intent
it
is
these
always just to
posts.
break the fucking game.
Yeah, that's
I
your
can
job.
guarantee you that's my intent. I
That's
said
your
that on my
intent.
interview. My intent is to break things.
That's your intent. I just do it by accident.
There you go.
I told my
You're
my
just
team
naturally
about
gifted
that.
like that.
So my friend of mine played it. Yeah, she broke it. So what do you mean she broke it? Yeah, she went into the part that I always tried to get into, and then she just got into it and was able to go around and
Looked
get
like the way
past
I was supposed
everything.
to go. I was like, oh, there's a gap in the fence over here, and this will get me past all of the things, and I just did it.
Yeah, it's like what the hell?
And you were like, how did you do that? And I was like, I don't know, just
Yeah,
gap,
yeah.
jump.
There you go.
Video games.
The only thing I can think of, they removed the collision, or there's the slightest of gaps
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably
and he
like
just squeezed into.
it's probably like
it
a
literally is
tiny,
that. Yeah,
tiny bramble-sized gap, and I
Just
just
squeezed
went
in that
straight
hitbox.
through it.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, and he
I
just
know,
goes,
I know the main character isn't called Bramble, but
no.
it's like calling Aloy Horizon.
Oliver. Is it? Hey, I can't remember the name of the character. The game.
There we go. Forget for Moody strikes again.
Bramble was the final boss that vexed me quite hard on stream.
I remember the sister's name, Eleanor. Eleanor? Is it
Do I?
Eleanor?
Dude, is it?
Is it? I'm not researching this at all right now at this moment in time.
Ollie.
Ollie. Yeah, but they say Ola.
Yeah, or Scandinavian.
Yeah, and he's chasing after his sister, trying to rescue his kidnapped sister, Lillamore. Because that's how they say it. Ola, Lillamore. And everything like that.
It's a great game. I love all the fucked up monsters.
Yeah, it's like it's got really well, it's going really down well for us and everything. Like, just on Steam alone, it's overwhelmingly positive at 95%, which is just amazing.
That's why we need to go for our reviews. Fuck OpenCritic, fuck Metacritic, fucking Steam. Steam reviews rarely steer me in the wrong direction.
Oh, I won't lie. I'm hoping there's one that's in early access. They're saying they're coming out into 1.0 this year, and that right now is an overwhelmingly highly positive. And I'm like, get out and get reviewed, you bastard! And I want fucking 99 points from this thing. But yeah,
but yeah, no. Like, how's everyone's week been?
It's been good. Would you know? I've been playing some video games this week.
Yeah, I just scrolled down because I was like, oh yeah, I've been playing video games. And I'm like, sweet baby Jesus, you said you had nothing to talk about.
And Vince in the background was like, I lied.
I spoke about these yesterday with you as well.
I mean, then Moody's added, and then I've got, and okay, it's fine.
What do you want to do first, Amy? It is your show. You have the power again.
She has
Like, see, I was trying to curry favor from him because now he knows.
Yeah.
I bet you thought I wasn't even gonna watch it.
Fucking hell, I expected you to watch it. I bet you in the mind he's thinking, I know him so well. He's going to fucking say something or do something. I know that pain in the ass Moody would do something. Vitz, he's going to be lovely. He's going to be amazing and everything. But Moody, he's going to be a pain in the ass. And I know he's going to say or do something that's going to annoy me. She's like, I just sense the disturbance in the force. I can feel it.
It wasn't a disturbance in the force. I don't watch Star Wars anymore. I'm not in tune with the force.
I have a question. Actually, that is an interesting thing there. I'm curious. Are you going to check out the Acolyte as philosophy tubes on it?
Probably not. No.
Don't bite your door, Jesus.
But I'm sure
She's not going to check it out either.
Yeah, even Adora knows better.
Clearly not. Yeah.
But thank you. Like, setting you off on that tangent about me watching the show last week gave me the time I needed to find the tweet I was looking for. Dance puppets. So yeah, we were struggling with what to come up with for talking about this week because it was a slow news week, and I even tried to do my trick. So the next time I say it's a slow news week and Bobby Kotick comes out like setting people on fire or whatever, you can't blame me. It's not my fault because I tried to invoke that directly in our Discord and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm. For clarification, we are recording this before PlayStation State of Play, so if it all goes out the window, then you'll know why.
Well, we can talk about the State of Play. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about what we think might happen at E3 over the next couple of weeks, what we think should happen, and maybe what we want to happen that will probably never happen. And yeah, as Vitz is saying, for clarification, although the podcast comes out after the 3 shows that are happening on the Thursday, we're recording before we've seen any of them. The State of Play, the Marvelous Games Showcase, and the Silent Hill transmission. The State of Play and the Marvelous Games Showcase are happening at the same time. was an interesting
That's a-
move on Marvelous
that's
Games'
interesting.
part.
It's a bold strategy.
It's a
Let's
bold
see how it plays
strategy.
out.
But yeah,
I think the thing is, PlayStation just announced their thing yesterday. They might have already been locked in.
oh yeah, definitely, undoubtedly.
But yeah, otherwise, Jeff Grubb would have been thrown to the wolves.
Oh,
They've not done something.
Oh, dude, he's like with his little violin right now.
He's the one saying dance puppets.
Basically, yeah.
finally right about something.
There you go. When you say a million things, one of the things has to come right.
Exactly.
A blind squirrel finds a nut at least once a day, so it's all right. Just so
There
you can
you
eat
go.
it. So
That's how these
But
leakers
yeah,
operate.
it is the season, and the season is video games, as it is all
Yeah.
year round.
I've
But
got the whole
apparently,
list. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
it's we're heading into the shows, which Amy's gonna run through shortly.
Yeah, so apart from the ones that I just listed, there's also the Best Indie Games Summer Showcase 2024, the OTK Games Expo, Guerrilla Collective Online, Accessibility Summer Showcase, Summer Game Fest, which says it's going to be 2 hours, Day of the Devs immediately after, the Devolver Direct, the Wholesome Direct, the Indie FPS Summer Showcase. I think some of these showcases are getting a little bit too specific. The Latin American Games Showcase, the Women-led Games Showcase, the Future Games Show Summer Showcase, the Xbox Games Showcase, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct, the PC Gaming Show, the Ubisoft Forward, and at some point there'll be a Nintendo Direct. And now that I've said all of that, the word showcase means nothing to me anymore. The word showcase has now lost all meaning.
Sure has.
So though you talk about like, hey, it's the season of gaming, all the gaming news wherever you could want it.
Yeah, they killed E3, but E3 kept on
It's
trucking.
not
somehow.
like we've had a flipping gaming showcase every week for the past 5 months or anything. No, it's all happening this summer.
Yeah.
So though we just talk about like, hey, what's going on, what we think might be, what we hope might
Yeah,
be.
if we speaking from the PlayStation side first, because I think that's the most prominent show, which is
Do you want to tackle this like chronologically?
yeah. Let's do that.
yeah, why not? Why not? Go on.
So for the PlayStation State of Play thing, which is happening tonight as the time of recording. So the big question.
2.5 hours. 2.5 hours for us.
It is 2.5 hours. The
was
show
2.5
itself is set
hours
to
long, I was
be
like-
30 minutes. And for me, one of the big questions going into this general period of the year is what the heck is first party working on? We know some of the titles, not that they've been officially announced, but we understand Sucker Punch has been working on a follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima. We understand there's some inklings that there's a new Astrobot project in the works, which
be.
may or may not come out this year. And then it's kind of other things. Obviously, with Naughty Dog, the project they were working on was the Last of Us multiplayer project that got shelved, but they had something else single player which was in the works. And we know that Insomniac had been working on Wolverine and potentially Spider-Man 2 DLC, even though they may have put the kibosh on that. But there's a lot that we don't know what's coming, which has quote unquote been Sony's bread and butter over the past couple of generations in terms of their big tentpole first party titles, which tend to be third person action games. And it's one of these where I just want to know what's phase 2 of PlayStation 5 looking like in terms of we're in the second half of the console, and we've had like the launch window games, and we've had titles, the Spider-Man 2s, and even from third party we've had Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, the second in the part of a trilogy of games to come from them. But in terms of Bluepoint, what's going on? What have you been working on? You say it's original content. We'd love to know what that content is, and that's what I don't necessarily expect all those answers coming from a 30-minute show. I think that'd be foolish of anyone to suggest. But I think if you start getting inklings of some of the bigger stuff which is coming down the line, and that's not to detract from any like indie games which are going to be discussed this evening, kind of thing. But it's one of these things of what are the tentpole titles which are coming, and to take a partners from Xbox side is a reason for people to pick up a system because of these exclusives which are coming.
Brand alone brings the people to the system and everything like that for the most part.
It's the default. gaming.
Yeah, it's the
console.
default basically console compared
It
to
is.
Xbox in itself. Nintendo obviously it's in its own world of its own. When it becomes for like what's phase 2 or the quote unquote end game leading into the PS5, PS6, obviously like obviously the hotly rumored of the PS5 Pro or whatever the hell they want to
Yep.
call it in the future. That's obviously coming probably this year. I'm surmising.
Yeah, I would say holiday this year.
It's arguably but might get shown tonight, revealed like just like
Yeah, like
Xbox
towards the
showed
end.
last. Yeah, like basically like Xbox did. Like, was it last year when they showed a new S, which had a terabyte hard drive? I think it was,
Yep.
or was that the year before? Either way, they could just do that. This is to going off what I know, like going off what I've read online, like watched on Kind of Funny. Like it's a third party showcase more than anything.
Probably.
It tends to be, yeah. So we've had the VP of second and third party at PlayStation retweet the news or to say, "Oh, you better
Yeah.
keep your eyes out on this one." So it is likely to be more third party, but we'll never. You never know in terms of what there might just be. Here's one more thing, and it's a big first party thing. So, but
When was the
because
last
we
time
know,
they
so
did a here's one more thing? I think it's been a while since they did a here's one more thing.
Wasn't it Death
That's true.
Stranding 2 last week? Last year.
Last week, it feels like last week.
Was it last year? They've done a show. They've done a show. A
Yeah, it
state
was
of
the
play
one where
this year, haven't
they were
they?
like, here's the stupid on the beach game. Just
Yeah,
go with
yeah.
that name. And
Yeah.
and then they were like, but also we're revolutionizing the concept of video games and movies. And then they did the thing where the thing flew out of the movie studio, and everybody just kind of was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this year for the first party is probably just Astrobot for me overall. I think Ghost of Tsushima 2 is coming. There's no doubt about that. But that's probably next year.
I can also see an announcement
Maybe the
for
year after,
GT7
something like
to
that, like-
PC.
it's only been 4 years since the first one, and they made the Legends thing, where they did the multiplayer.
It depends,
and
I
raid
guess, how
stuff.
big the game is. I guess it depends how big the game is at the end of the day.
The thing
Like
about-
if they could just it could be like an Insomniac thing of just like, whoa, wait, you're giving us Spider-Man Miles Morales just freaking what 3
Yeah.
years after? Yes, there's no doubt about it that what helps them there was they already had the assets and everything can resonate up to the next level. It's a lot more easier than just making a whole new game and everything. They could be doing that. Obviously, I doubt that because obviously it's assumed that it's the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. So,
Yeah.
Apologies, we talked over each other for a second. I can also see an announcement for Gran Turismo 7 coming to PC across this this season. Maybe not tonight in today's state of play, but I can see that coming because that's one of the last first-party exclusive titles which hasn't been brought over to PC as yet.
I think. Sorry, Amy, go on. You haven't spoken yet. Go first.
No, that's fine. Go for it.
Okay. I think this is going to be. I know, like they're saying, they're showing what 14 games. Obviously, a mixture between PS5 and PSVR. VR is probably going to be like 3 or 4 titles.
If
something like
that, yeah.
Yeah, if you're that lucky and whatnot. But it all really depends on who's the partners are and everything overall. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to hear something for a new Lego game or a remake of a Lego game soon and everything like that. I think
We've heard scuttlebutt of a Lego Horizon game coming through as well.
Yeah, there's rumors of that I've heard.
Do you think we see Capcom this evening?
No.
No,
Not with anything substantial.
Nothing new or anything like
Okay.
that. Yeah. If it's anything, it's DLC. But even then, I think they just go wait until next week because it's a big, quote unquote, I guess you could say it's a quote unquote bigger show because it's a 2-hour show compared to a 30-minute show. Or they can just literally just do what they normally do, is which, guys, we can literally just take up the conversation by doing our own thing. Like they did that whenever they spoke about Resident Evil. Obviously, there's rumors of whatever the next Resident Evil is, if it's a remake of 1 again, or if it's 9 or 0 or Amy's favorite Code Veronica.
Not a massive fan of 0 either, if I'm being honest. But yeah, no, I mean, the best you're going to get out of the first parties is going to be Astrobot. And it's about time they made a sequel to the last Astrobot game. The last one sold 60 million units and counting.
It sure did. And it was amazing. I loved my
It's
time with that show.
it's their like best-selling game on PS5. But
Mhm.
Until GTA next year or the year after.
no, the joke is that it comes with every PS5. Like Wii Sports, like when people say like Wii Sports sold 100
The
million
backing title,
copies,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like because it came with every Wii. But I mean, like, what's the first party studios working on? PS6 dev kits, like the the thing about like shows like the State of Play, and like the tentpoles that we used to from PlayStation, right? Like your Sucker Punch games and your Naughty Dog games and
Mhm.
etc. etc. Except Insomniac, who seem to be able to produce games faster than it should be humanly
It's
possible.
witchcraft what they're doing. Yeah.
Like
It's probably because they've returned the stuff.
Probably.
The
This
thing
is
what
true.
we always talk about, like Nintendo doing everything,
I don't think I think expectations still needs to be readjusted to the development timelines of like 6 to 7
Sure.
years. It's like you can only get away with doing a God of War Ragnarok so many times, where it's like, oh yeah, it's just a ton of this game is just the original map. So like that was what gave them the shortcuts they needed to be able to release
Yeah, no doubt
high
about
quality
that. Yeah,
sequel.
100%.
In such a short span
which
of
is not a
time.
bad idea. At the end
It's
of
not.
the day.
It's not a bad idea,
yeah.
but there's only so many times you can get away with doing that before it
Oh,
starts
I
becoming
agree.
stale.
Or
So, like,
shorten the games down to like under 10 hours.
stop
Should be
making
great.
everything more open. Like,
Yeah.
why was that? Why
Don't
was
have
there an
to-
open world level in The Last of Us Part 2? Yeah. That's a different discussion.
The
for a
Seattle
different time.
section?
Yeah,
Yeah. There was one for Uncharted 4.
I know. It was.
That's where it started, yeah, with the Madagascar.
It's just like
section.
why? It's like
Everything was going open world, Amy.
Mhm.
yeah, we saw how.
I liked
The
how it was used in
future.
Lost Legacy, to be fair, with Western Cuts.
Yeah. Just like it's like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. It's
Mm.
like if you want to make an open world game, just make an open world game. Like
Yeah.
I'll play it. Don't sandwich an open world section into a tightly paced cinematic game. Is that what we call them? Doesn't have those types of games don't have a moniker.
I think you
like
got the right
Souls-like.
thing. Cinematic game.
Cinematic
I think,
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Prestige
it's too far
games.
on the mark.
I mean, I get some pushback when I call them horse testicle games because everyone thinks I'm thinks I'm being
That's
mean.
Rockstar.
No, yeah. It's like I saw that thing. We were talking about it yesterday when we was testing Discord. We saw that post that was going around where it was like the 4 different eyes, and it was like, which game has the best graphics? And yeah, it's just they're all horse testicle games. It's like these eyes look amazing, and I'm very impressed. But why? But anyway,
Yes.
I don't think you're gonna see that much excitement from the State of Play. Like I would have assumed Silent Hill, but Silent Hill is doing their own thing. So unless there's gonna be like a trailer in the State of Play where it's like, look out for more information after this showcase, it's just like. And even then, I'm not excited for a Silent Hill 2 trailer.
Yeah,
Not after the
there's
last
always
one.
This is true, and there's always the for a better word, danger of having these anything featured at the State of Play being a tease for see you next week at Summer Games Fest or whenever that show happens to be, kind of thing, to say, okay, now that we've got 2.5 hours or 2 hours or whatever the show is, to have a lengthier trailer.
Yeah, and I think the important thing to remember about Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest show is, like, he doesn't get that many big gets. Like, people remember the big gets that he gets, like when he got the Elden Ring trailer, but he doesn't get that many to the point where it's like you're going to see all of these huge, massive franchise titles show up, where it's like, no, they'll show up at a PlayStation or a Nintendo or an Xbox, or they'll do their own thing. So like, I don't think there's the room for that many big games, air quotes, to do a whole, hey, see you at Summer Game Fest next week, baby.
But yeah,
there's no doubt about it. Like Microsoft are obviously just like, hey, Jeff, we're doing our own thing. Bugger off.
Leave us alone. Stop calling us. All right.
Yeah. You're not as relevant as you think you are. But yeah, it's. I think ultimately when it comes to PlayStation, this Soul Showcase, I won't lie, I'm gonna laugh if we're completely fucking wrong like hell. For next week, it would be amazing. But
I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah, this is the thing about we are very happy to be proven wrong. This is going to be a third-party show where it's going to show games I think people already know about, or just be like, oh yeah, we heard about that, or something like that, and it's just going to be like, I think by the end, everyone's going to be like, was that it? And I'm just going to be like, yes, I think that's it, because PlayStation, because of their stupid strategy they were doing a couple of years ago, until they decided to literally clearly reverse course last year, you ain't going to see anything really significant for at least, I would say, until probably truly next year. Like, I don't even think we will actually get a showcase from them this year, a quote unquote showcase, a big long one. I think they're just going to do a state of play, another state of play later on in the year, but it'll be a third party thing again.
I was disappointed that they even announced this state of play, to be honest, because I was just like, you're falling into the EA trap of a few years ago, where it's like you're putting on a show for the sake of putting on a show.
If you don't have anything to show, then just stay silent.
That's not necessarily true, though.
Oh, not to the extent that EA was doing it, where it was like, here's some concept art, here's a person.
No, but it's what I'm stating. It's like it all really depends on what contracts they've signed and everything for people. Like, say we want to show your game off. Okay, how much do you need and everything like that, or how much do you want? And they've obviously had to come to an agreement when they were going to show this thing. They obviously them saying it's literally revealing it yesterday of the time of we recording it and everything. It's literally them like, they really don't want to do anything. They're just doing this because it's obviously contractual. Because that's how it comes across for me. I may shooting the stars. I might be completely wrong and everything, and you probably are a little bit right as well on the Amy part of just like they're doing it for the sake of doing something. But because it's only 30 minutes, for me, it's not for the sake of doing something. It's more if it's just we're doing it because we have to, because of these contracts we've already signed, type of thing. And let's just do something, get it out the way and everything, because people are kind of expecting us to be there anyway in some sort of way. Like I said, I think it's a bit of column A, a bit of column B type of thing.
Okay. Fit's gone, and then we have to stop talking about something that's already happened.
So just to allude to your point you were making before about the batshit crazy strategy and then moving away from, I do understand that only Cocoon and Fair Games and Marathon are the only quote unquote big live service game which has survived the chop and will be going forward. So who knows if we'll see those? I guess we'll find out next week.
We'll find out in a couple hours. You already know.
What's next up on the...
How funny
and
was
if
this?
It's interesting, we might talk about it next week.
How funny was this part of the podcast? Let us know in the comments. Anyway.
There you go.
And
while you're down there, just hit that subscribe button and that like button as well.
That'd be nice. So, yeah,
Make a nice comment. Give us a thumbs up. Do the shiggy dance.
So I don't feel comfortable ever doing these things for like indie game showcases, because I don't think it's very fair, and also it's like hard to know what the fuck is even going to happen at any of those. So the next big one after the Silent Hill transmission, which I'm not going to talk about, is the
It's too much heartbreak.
That's my face. That's my Silent Hill back face.
For audio listeners, Amy's shaking her head
with
what can only be described as the grimace on her face.
It's the angry video game nerd face. The next big one would be Jeff's Summer Game Fest, followed by Day of the Dead.
Ego Fest.
Yeah, so historically for me, and obviously this is purely subjective, that these tend to be some of the most bloated showcases anybody's ever slogged themselves through. And it will be a slog, and it will have... the way I think he aims to balance a show is to have something big.
We were like,
that's true.
Something big to open the show, and then something big to end the show, and then whatever's in the middle is just going to bring the whole show down. I think they'll work on the pacing, but to your point you were making before, in terms of they don't get too many big gets, and it's one of these of. They feel the need to pad out the show for 2 hours for some reason, and they just fill it with whatever content. And I get that not every announcement is going to hit for every single audience, and exactly. But there needs to be some deeper level of production in terms of what makes the cut and what doesn't, and kind of making it shorter. And you're allowed to edit a show and make a tight 60-minute show rather than a nobly bloated 2-hour-long show where people, they're starting to lose wind, and especially the international audiences who happen to be watching this live kind of thing. It's in the middle of the night, and you're saying, "Come on, Jeff, get the fuck on with it," kind of thing. It needs to be a much tighter show. I'm not sure what can be the big enormous thing. Amy,
Well, I assume you were about to say I don't know what they could cut. I do. It's called Jeff Keighley. Like, I wonder if you edited all of his bits out, would the show be 60 minutes long?
True.
Because the problem isn't the games and the problem isn't the announcements. Jeff Keighley, like, for what I just said about big games, Jeff Keighley gets a lot of interesting games for his showcase. And as me and Moody have both said before, like, we've seen some great games. Neon White was at one of his Summer Games Fest games where I completely lost my mind for a minute. At the trailer, and like there have been other great games that have been shown.
Aliens Dark Descent. Amy was just like, I'm just watching Moody.
But the problem is that you hit on it. It's the pacing. Like the problem with the show is the fact that like you'll get a JPEG of the Last of Us factions concept art, and then you'll stand in front of it for 10 minutes talking to Neil Druckmann. Or there'll be 10 minutes of Call of Duty gameplay, or The Rock will come out to promote his new film, and it's just like these are all of the parts that make the show bad. The games are great. Love seeing all the trailers. You know, like if the whole thing was like loads of trailers and 10 minutes of Call of Duty, I could have put up with that 10 minutes of Call of Duty. But if that 10 minutes of Call of Duty is followed by The Rock showing off his fucking gym.
Like not bothering to wear a shirt.
I'm just gonna be like, you know what, mate, you've lost me. And the thing that sucks most about that is whatever game follows this is also going to have lost me because I'm not paying attention.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to say that I
Keighley,
wasn't
that's
sure
something
what the big announcement Jeff would be able to pull. My only thing that I can think of is gameplay from Shadow of the Erdtree as the final thing that they show off.
Probably, but the big thing that's probably going to get the biggest thing is probably Dragon Age.
I don't think that's going to be there. I think it's going to be there. I don't think it's going to be at Jeff's thing. I think that's going to be at the Xbox.
But yeah, to your point, I don't see them getting rid of movie spots and things like that because the reality is that that's how he funds the show. In terms of
save a lot of money on funding the show if you didn't make it a live stage show.
I 100% agree with you, and you could save a lot of money on Jeff's appearance if you don't have to show him as well. And there are other hosts available, and we can add a little bit more diversity to the industry by showcasing highlights of other people.
That's not fair.
To get
Vince,
the
he
links.
had that one black woman he knew who called and cancelled at the last minute. That's not fair on Jeff, surely.
There you go.
And then he only gets one of them just to come out to do advertisements, and then they go back in again.
Yeah.
Into the corner you go.
You've had your token appearance.
Here, ready to make my ego even larger.
The white man must interview the other white man.
Yeah.
For one of the funniest things I've ever seen to come from a Summer Games Fest is when he had a member of the team from MHDR, so the people behind Cuphead, and they were revealing their DLC, the Lost Chalice, the Cuphead DLC, and
Final course.
The awkwardness that Jeff had speaking to this woman is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wait, women can make games?
Yeah.
Okay, that's maybe a bit too unfair, but still. It's funny how we haven't actually really talked about the showcase. We've just talked about how bad the showcase is.
Well, obviously, Kojima will be there. Them just flirting with each other until they eventually just go and tie the knot. Again, yeah, for me, like, I know you say Xbox for you, Amy, but for me, I think it's probably going to be Dragon Age. For me, I think that's going to be the main show off.
We could bet on it, but I don't know what would the forfeit be.
The forfeit is Vitz buys us pizza.
I was going to say a pizza bet, but not in those words.
If I win, Vitz buys us pizza, and if you win, Vitz buys us
pizza.
I'm in.
Everyone wins. But no, yeah, it's the thing is about it, because we have such a negative thing towards just the Keighley Fest in general. It's hard to even just get exciting for his thing. So it's like, We've already said like I think we're gonna watch it. But we're gonna watch it together in Discord. We're not gonna do a stream or reaction to it.
We'll see. It's my birthday. We'll see. It's my birthday.
Oh shit!
that
Yes,
day.
it is. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, forget that, Amy. Don't
Just present to Amy. Let's not forget.
Yeah, we don't want to. Why would we want to touch Amy on her birthday?
Torture me 364 other days. So yeah, why should my birthday be any different?
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's wild that we managed to get Jeff to schedule his show on that same day.
I know.
You know what fucking you know what
The
really
Herculean
fucking
effort
annoys me
we
about
went
that is
to.
he normally does it on a Thursday.
On a Thursday,
And this
yes.
year, when my birthday falls on the Friday, he's like, I'm gonna do my show on the Friday, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
Fucker. So
Got you
yeah,
again.
it's because of just how the industry is right now, and just we know Jeff is not going to talk about it whatsoever. I have no interest in his showcase whatsoever.
That's fair.
Like I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be excited for the games that are going to get shown off and everything, because the only thing he does right is that he shows off a very diverse, different type of games all the time. Then, yes, there was one time, I think it was the first or the second showcase he did, where it was just literally like horror game, back to back, all pretty much basically being the same type of fucking thing. Yeah. And I think we're still waiting for like 3 of them.
Yeah, most of them haven't come out yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I think the only one that I think has come out was Calypso Protocol.
No, there was that other one with Troy Baker that came out last year and bombed. I think it was last year. Yeah.
No, I think it was this year, wasn't it?
No, definitely.
No, yeah, it was last year. Yeah, it was last year. I know which one you're talking about. But no, it's like,
I mean, the Callisto Protocol bombed as well. So
Yeah, that's true. I can see a Square Enix coming through, and
with what? Dragon Quest?
dropping a Final Fantasy IX remake.
Nah.
no. That ain't gonna get shown until Final Fantasy VII's done. For me, that's how I see it. That's they like, if they're gonna actually listen to people, which they never do anyway. But if they actually do and like decide to, okay, we need to take a step back from Final Fantasy a little bit, like, because we've already spoken multiple times. They've shoved like 5 of them out in the last 5 years, and it's just like, we need to chill, guys. Like, give us a year off of Final Fantasy. Like,
you know,
we don't need a Final.
They brought out. I was just thinking to myself there. It's like, yeah, you really didn't need to do a remake of Crisis Core. And then, like, I had this internal like dilemma in my brain of being like, yeah, but then like, you know, like Zack's stuff in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth wouldn't have made any sense to people who played Remake. And there was why didn't they just incorporate Crisis Core Remake into those little bits where you play Zack in Rebirth and do nothing of consequence?
Add an extra 10, 20 hours onto a game that's already very long.
Well, no, you would cut the bloat out, all of the open world bloat out of the game.
Actually, that's actually a good idea.
There was so much bloat.
Amy, you should be a developer.
I should be a producer, right?
A producer, yeah, you should be. You should be.
You think I know what I'm doing?
It's a shame PlayStation closed the studio you went to try and go for.
Right? I know a thing or two about bloat. You've seen my YouTube videos.
And she's got a really big one on the way.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, it's hard to. Summer Games Fest is another hard one to pin down because it's not like tied to a publisher or a specific developer, so you could just go, well, anything could happen. It probably won't, and everyone will get their expectations set way too high and be disappointed by the show. And then Day of the Devs comes along, and it like
blows everyone away.
It heals me.
It does.
Like every year, I've watched Jeff Keighley's stupid 2-hour show, and I've been ready to just collapse. But then I watch an hour of Day of the Devs, and I'm back again. So, my prediction is Day of the Devs will be better.
Hell yeah.
Summer Game Fest. Whatever is happening there.
There's no pizza bet on that because that's a surefire bet.
And then at the end of the Day of Deads, the guy who owns the company is going to have left Xbox, and then the company gets closed next year.
Next year.
Oh, too soon. Sorry.
Well, you're not supposed to reveal your insider information. We're not Jeff.
Not yet, Moody. No.
Not yet. So after that, there's a lot of cool indie game showcases that I want to shout out because I think you should watch them. I mean, there's a developer direct as well. That's pure carnage in a YouTube video. That's not a serious like, hey, what games are coming? That's just what the fuck are they going to do this time? But there's also there's a lot of cool indie directs, the Wholesome Direct, the Latin America Game Showcase, the Women-led Game Showcase.
Oh yeah.
You should watch those. Those are always really cool. I like watching them every year. I assume there's going to be a Tribeca Game Spotlight Film Festival thing on that weekend because there usually is. That's always really good. I always love watching that as well. The next big one is the Xbox Game Showcase and the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct. I can make confident prediction that I shall not be watching the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct.
Neither will I. Yeah. Xbox is a interesting one for many reasons. Obviously, we've heard.
We talked about it enough already.
Yeah,
The word
there is
interesting
that.
is load bearing there.
Yeah. So I think it will lean heavily on. It might close with Indiana Jones. So by Machine Games, which I think is still due for this year. I want to say November for some reason. If it's got a date already.
Time yet. I don't think they've given a release date, but they've said I think fall this year.
Yeah,
I might be
so
wrong.
I think we get a release date at the end of that trailer, and that closes the show. I don't think we get anything from the Gear Studio. Is that the Coalition? I think it's still too early for any of that. And then this is the thing. Like, what else? I mean, do we see more of Avowed? I think we see what Obsidian's been put together. And then I think the rest is a collection of Bethesda, and so we'll see like Shattered Space, I think. So this is the expansion / DLC coming out for Starfield, and then I think that'll be the Bethesda showcase. We'll see a sorry, brain fart. So we'll see that from Bethesda, and then we'll see a bunch of Activision stuff as well. Because I reckon we'll get a small Call of Duty section within Call of Duty, and then it'll be a teaser to say, stay tuned after the show for whatever Black Ops 6 is, and then we ask everybody who's watching, where were you on January the 6th?
Interesting. I've just had a look about Gears. Gears 4 and 5 came out 3 years apart. Gears 4 is 2016 and Gears 5 is 2019. That's insane.
It's mind blowing to think that we're now in a position where like the big games will take like 7 to 10 years to make. It really wasn't that long ago when that wasn't the case.
Yeah. And whatnot.
He's gearing up.
I think they're going to push hard on showing they have games.
Yes.
That's what I think they're going to do. So I think they're going to go. I think there's a high chance they're going to blow their load on this, and by the end, and like 5 years later, we're going to be still waiting for half of the games.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. It's like, here's Doom, here's Gears of War, here's Halo, and it's like, no, because none of these games are coming out for the. Some of these games probably aren't even coming out this generation, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, especially when you don't see even a year window. Like, yeah, if you don't see any of that, which I don't think we're gonna see even half of that on any of the games, it's like there's no doubt about it. Like one of their studios is gonna be going off what bloody they've said. Like their next console is 2026, so they're already working on their next console games. They're already in that. So like all the games that they potentially half the games, if not most of the games, they're going to show in the weeks in 10 days time is all going to be for 2026.
The next
and
console
beyond
is 2028.
No, but haven't they said that? Haven't they also said they're doing one for 2026? That's apparently revolutionary and everything like that.
They might be doing a mid-generation console thing, but 2028 was the one on all the slides.
Oh.
That's not me pulling a Jeff Grubb. That was from all that lawsuit stuff.
I think Amy was right on that one.
No, but didn't
I read everything.
Sarah Bond's been saying a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Sarah Bond at the podcast where they had to come out and say, yes, we're revealing 4 games that's going to PlayStation 5, blah, blah, blah. Didn't she say there's a new generation console for them coming in 2026? Or am I misrepresenting the words she said?
I don't think she said it yet, but I've just looked it up just to make sure I'm not wrong, and it is 2028, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like that article, what we've talked about on multiple occasions, that the next generation is probably 2028 and everything. But yeah, either way, I think they're gonna try and blow the load, and people are all going to go, Xbox is back type of thing.
I hope we're smarter than that at this point.
People are stupid and they will not.
Well, they already lost Tim Dog, so who's going to be screaming from the rafters about Xbox?
I can see many names.
Tim Dog is off on his PlayStation.
That I won't see.
On his PlayStation journey.
It's the most wholesome thing.
It actually is. Like, it is really.
I can see the next Forza Horizon being teased, if not, or maybe revealed to say it's Forza Horizon 6, and they show a locale, and it'll just be like a road sign of wherever it happens to be, and there'll be like a car zooming past.
Please God, set a Forza Horizon in Japan.
Yes.
How long did it take Assassin's Creed to get to China?
I feel like an Assassin's Creed fan. Since Forza Horizon 2, I've been sitting on this podcast going, set one in Japan, please.
Yeah, I think you have. There's no doubt about that. But no, it's Forza's Playground, isn't it? Who's doing Fable as well. They need to just. I know they've got 2 teams and everything and whatnot for it, but they need to like just halt and get Fable done. Like, Fable's been talked about.
All hands on deck. Get Fable out the door.
Fable was talked about 5 years before it was actually revealed. It was the worst kept secret out there, and they finally showed it, and everyone was just like, "Huh." Because it was just obviously a CGI trailer.
Yeah.
Both of them that they've showed, and just like, huh. And we're still waiting for the ooh type of thing. And I don't know if they're going to actually nail it.
I think it's indicative of the scope of that game and how it probably got out of hand. And they probably had to retool and go back to step 1 a number of times on that title.
It sounds like BioWare.
Yeah. Obviously, this is all unsubstantiated, and that's just my thoughts on where it is. Because you're right in terms of we would have seen something by now, even if in terms of more trailers and gameplay teasers and things like that. But I don't think we received it. Was it at the Developer Direct show in January? Okay, everybody's shaking their heads.
I don't think so. That doesn't sound right.
No, because I think it finished on. Yeah, I think it might have finished on
That
Indiana
was one
Jones.
of the ones he shouted at me for not watching.
So I'm having a look at their website, Playgrounds, and look at their careers. They literally have Forza team, Fable team. I'm like, oh, good God, like, Jesus, just stop. Just how many, like, ugh. And they have got a lot of positions going for the Forza team, and let's have a look at the Fable team. A lot of fucking positions going at that. That just tells me they haven't even been able to retain their staff. That's why the game has taken so long when it comes to Fable. And it's going in probably different directions, like what you've just said, Vitz. Or theorize, should I say, and whatnot. It's like, with how Microsoft, like I said, I think they're going to blow their load, but it's like, because we know how poorly they're getting managed right now and how all over the place it is, don't hold your breath. You'll be playing them anytime soon.
Do you think Phil Spencer's just...
Amy, do me a favor. Close your eyes. I need you to visualize this.
All right.
The camera pans in. It's a mountain road. There's no traffic. It's dark. There's a little bit of fog, a bit of mist. All of a sudden, you hear the sounds of 2 engines roaring and sliding about in a drift, and then you hear the music fade in. It's a Teriyaki Boys. I wonder if you know how they do in Tokyo. And then it's Forza Horizon 6.
Tokyo Drift.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't be excited. I'm just saying, like, Forza Horizon 6, like, would piss me off. Like, if they showed me Forza Horizon 6 before, like, Fable is even a thing.
Oh,
it's just
100%,
like,
but...
It's just like, guys. You know how you say you've got no games? Maybe you should finish the games. Finish the games that you're making instead of starting new ones. Come on.
Well, we had to go back to studios.
I've had to learn this lesson. It's like, finish the video you're making before you start making another video. It's like, come on, Microsoft. I'm the worst for this kind of for the Microsoft showcase, I think, because I just want them. I need them to do what I think would be best. Is not what would be the most hype. And everybody wants the most hype, but I think they should just do a sequel to the last year's show, where it's like, you know, all those games that you showed, very few of which actually came out. Show those again.
Yeah.
And then plug the gaps where, like, games have come out with maybe it's a new announcement or a new third-party thing. You know, like, I want to see Clockwork Revolution that you announced last year. That looked sick. Show me a gameplay for that. Like, oh, Fable. Show me gameplay for Fable. Avowed. Make me want to like Avowed. I want to like Avowed, but so far I don't. Show me something that's going to make me like that game. Like, and if they do this whole thing where it's like, I know there's been leaks and rumors and reports and speculation flying all over the internet about Doom and Gears and stuff.
And Jeff
it's like,
Grubb.
if you show me Jeff Grubb, if you show me all of that stuff, I'm just gonna get more annoyed because again, it's like, well, what about the things that you've already showed me? Like what? Because then instantly my brain is gonna go, well, what's wrong with other games? What's wrong with Fable?
Yeah.
What's wrong with Clockwork Revolution? Like because you have no benefit of the doubt left for me to give you at this point.
Yeah, like everyone's already thinking that was State of Decay 3.
Decay 3. What's
We
wrong
have
with
not
State of
seen
Decay
that
3?
at all. And we all know that, Amy. We all know what's wrong with State of Decay 3. poorly run and everything, yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like for every game that they showed up, that they announced or showed last year from their first party studios that I don't see next week, I'm gonna have the same question. What's gone wrong? What's happened? Like, why haven't you shown me this? But everybody wants to see Doom and Gears and because it's the hype thing.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just
want
like, hype
the
is not
shiny
what
new
you need
thing.
right now.
And obviously they have to reveal the next studio they've bought, so.
Well, I was thinking, what if Phil just brings out a studio, not a studio person, just like the concept of a studio out on stage and just executes it live in the showcase.
You see this studio? You like this? Oops. Doing Negan.
Just all of them lined up with his baseball bat. I watched Delayed Input this week, the one from last week with Kyle Bossman, and he he's like the king of like, he's way better at like cutting sarcasm than me even. And like he made a point that I want to steal his bit basically, which is just like, if you can, like, what I want them to do is when they announce their world premieres, if they could just tell me if it's going to be a high impact game or a low impact game, so I know whether I can get invested in it or not.
My heart can only break so much.
Because if it's a low impact, it's probably going to get close shortly afterwards.
Because I can't, because you know, if Hi-Fi Rush was a low impact game, I clearly can't tell the difference between a low impact game and a high impact game.
Who the hell can at this point?
I think they're gonna start. I think there's gonna be some waffle about AI, given Microsoft and Copilot and ChatGPT and all this stuff. Right? There's gonna be like a section in this showcase where they just talk bollocks for a bit about AI.
Cortana will now play your games for you.
Like when they announced the Xbox One X and me, Keith, and Russ were sat on a sofa and we like were paying attention to the words that were coming out of these people's mouths, and none of them made any sense. Some of them weren't physically possible, and I started questioning whether they knew what a video game console was. I think it's going to be similar.
Was this the one where it was TBTBT, Call of Duty?
No, it was the One X. It was like there was going to be so many pixels on the screen, and it was just like, but there's the same amount of pixels. The screen, and I got mad. On the stream. I think they're going to talk bollocks. It's going to be all like corpo business speak about like things that like don't actually mean anything. And then they'll have like one concrete thing that AI can do, but it'll be something that sounds great for a second, and then you think about it and it's terrible. Like I saw someone talking about this in an interview with PC Gamer, where it was like, we can have NPCs driven by AI who you could have reactive conversations with, and I was like, yeah, because that's what I want to do when I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3, talk to every single NPC on my way to the quest. And I think they're going to have it, or Ubisoft is going to have it. One of the two. Because they're both like all in on this AI stuff. That's my concrete prediction, and the execution thing.
Hell yeah.
That one's less serious. And as far as games go, like I say, I want them to show me more of the things that they showed me last week, not loads of new stuff that's not coming out.
Yeah, give me updates on the things you've already announced. Yeah. Does Nintendo wrap up summer proceedings?
Basically, yeah.
I don't want to talk about Ubisoft. Boring open world tower climbing games.
He's got one still at the top.
I just spoiled the entire Ubisoft showcase for you. And you put that in as a timestamp. Nintendo, I don't know if they're going to do their thing where they go like a few days after everybody, but they've already said they're doing a June Direct, so they're doing a Direct at some point in June. So.
I think it's after Microsoft. I think it's like the week after. So
historically when E3
like
was a
Microsoft is
thing,
on the Sunday, I think they're going to be like the Monday or Tuesday.
historically when E3 was a thing, they were on the Tuesday,
Mm.
but that was because they did their direct and then the doors opened into E3.
Yeah.
So the timing can be whenever now, I suppose.
Yeah,
But
true.
like a Nintendo Direct is just like, okay, like it's going to be focusing on the games that are coming out in the second half of 2024 because it's always been their thing.
Yeah, and
What
I
games?
don't think we don't get a hardware announcement at this show. I don't think so.
Absolutely.
No,
not.
they've said they aren't. Yeah, they said they ain't going to talk about that
Yeah.
until later in the year. So
Okay, a question that I want to say, and it is just been a cave drawing up until this point. Do we see it at Nintendo?
Silk Song. Is that what you asked?
Yes.
Metroid. I was going to say you could go in a few different directions with that.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, either way,
Sorry, I need to be specific
both
with
of them are
some of my
saying they were
drawings.
coming out this year. you can just hand me the Fantasy Critics trophy there and then. But no, it's
Otherwise, I'd be holding it. So, do we see
Metroid's
Silk Song?
either ending the Switch or it's going to be, for me, it's going to be a launch title. So it could go either way.
For me, it's a launch title that's also available on previous gen.
Well, that's guaranteed.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be guaranteed for the Pokemon game and everything. Everything's going to be previous gen.
Oh, sorry,
but,
yeah. So I think it's I think it's next year whenever Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo is out.
End of March, basically.
Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo is a better name than Super Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I still really love Super Nintendo Switch.
You're walking
Yeah,
down,
he
you're
doesn't,
walking
so
down
Amy's
the
right.
same path with a sign on it that says Wii U.
Yeah, I know.
So Amy's basically saying, just change the name from Switch.
Just put a
Yeah.
fucking 2 on the end of it. Jesus, Nintendo.
Say Switch 2. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom.
And I want royalties if you do that, and it makes you lots of money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're still waiting for the royalties from Xbox, so.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
But
Xbox One X because then the acronym is Xbox, and everyone was like, "Oh, they're not going to call it that." And boom, fuck as they did.
They did. Respect, but I would love them to like go off in a high. There's no doubt about it. But they're obviously pre-production of getting ready for the Switch 2. So
Yeah.
it was clearly, I stand by it. It was meant to come out this year, the Switch 2. But obviously, I think of the rumors of like maybe the PS5 Pro, they just want to get out of the way and just say, "Yo, let's just we want the whole conversation on us." So
Yeah.
boom, that's basically what they want to do. And I think so. It's just like, yeah, it's a good idea at the end of the day. So this is probably not going to be as hyped as I think a lot of people may think it. But
I think the one
But
thing
we'll
for
see.
me that can get me hype is they finally do the
Princess
Zelda
Peach 2.
announcements of that too, but also do the Zelda announcements of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
All
Finally
the fucking
making their
trouble
way.
I've gone through to be able to play Wind Waker. If they now announce that they're bringing Wind Waker as Switch, I'm going to
But
go
also,
to
how funny would that be?
I'm going to go to Japan and I'm going to light my Switch on fire at their doorstep.
and then say, "Give me the Switch 2 now."
Sorry, Miss Amy, it's a Super Nintendo Switch.
She'll let people with it.
You made me. You blew it all up.
Damn you!
I would like that. Like I think like I would like a Wind Waker because I think it's been too long since I've been able to play Wind Waker on a modern platform. Like I just like Zelda. Like I don't know, it is a difficult one in it because it's like anything that could make a big impact is obviously not going to release on the Switch. But then they could just port it, I suppose, later. Like they did that with a lot of Wii U games. Like the Wii U had a banging library, and I'm really glad most of it came to the Nintendo Switch. Like they could have smaller projects in the works, like to close out the Switch's life
Well, we
cycle.
know there's
like a new Captain
Luigi
Toad
Mansion
game.
in there. There's Luigi Mansion 2 remake or something.
Yeah,
like
there's an HD Luigi's 2 HD. Things like that, like Captain Toad 2. It's a game that has an audience, but it's not a huge one. It's probably in the same bracket as a Princess Peach Showtime. It'll be a nice game to release in sort of that August, September time. That'll do a few numbers, and and then it'll be.
Yeah, there's likely to be another Mario Olympics title for.
Yeah, that's
Paris
guaranteed. I think that's
2024.
already announced, isn't it? No,
Is
it's
it?
not announced, but pretty much. Yeah, I think that's just guaranteed because of the Olympics of this
Yeah.
year. So they'll literally say, and it releases during the Olympics.
Yeah. Who would have thought
There's the
you have a
thumbnail.
sports title out at the time the thing starts? EA.
EA
Imagine.
Sports. It's
Um,
no longer in the game as it's with 2K. But,
Yeah, that was a random story. Or at least rumor
someone
popping
was
up.
going to gobble it. No, someone was going to pay what FIFA wanted. Someone was going to do it. So
But yeah, it is interesting to think about what a summer direct would even look like from Nintendo, because I don't know if I can answer that. Like everything I think of
yeah.
that it's like, hey, what this? They could be doing this. They could be doing that. And I was like, but why would they do it now? It's like I'd love them to revisit Mario Maker. I think it's a great concept. I think if they ever figure out how to support that game properly, it could have really long legs. Like there's still a community for it, but obviously
Yeah.
not a big community for it.
I'll be surprised if there isn't a third one coming for the next gen.
I love
That
that.
adds like the
I'll be very
wonder
surprised if there
assets
isn't.
and things.
They both did incredibly well for them.
Mhm.
So I'll be very surprised. So
I just want them to support it properly. It's like Mario Party. It's like those games do well when they come out, but if Nintendo just supported them just a little bit, like that thing could have a huge tail.
it could be
Like-
their Smash Bros,
Yeah.
their Mario Kart
Mm-hmm.
thing, basically, and then you go into the stratosphere, basically. All they need is that Animal Crossing, basically, for in it. Like like Animal Crossing was a very niche thing. And then obviously Thingy came out, and then it was just like, "Whoa, my god, this is the greatest game!" Blah blah blah. And
Oh, more of the point. I'm locked in my house. What do I do? Oh, this game lets me go outside.
I build a house. I go to an island away from
Man,
everybody. Yay!
I never really knew how much I would miss outdoors.
Never mind about the crippling.
I
debt this
am the
raccoon's
one
coming in.
human out there who didn't get into that game that year.
Yeah.
Didn't really work for me. I was just like, this is boring. Why? But I've never
They gotta
clicked with
wait
those
3
games.
real days for this turn.
Oh, the tournament.
I was like Joey on Friends, just looking out the window when it's raining.
It's raining.
Yeah.
It wasn't raining. It was fake. It was.
It was his
Yeah,
version
yeah, I
was
know, I
fake, yeah.
know.
I know too much about a TV show. I didn't really enjoy all that much.
Mhm.
Friends is just a part of the culture at this point.
It is
Oh, hell
hilarious
yeah.
how a whole generation hates Friends.
I don't hate Friends.
No, sorry, the like Gen Z and everybody like they despise the show Friends, even if they're like remotely aware of it.
Yeah, because it
It's
has
all
not
there.
aged well.
Yeah.
Like Ross has not aged well on that show at all.
I don't think too many of the characters have, to be fair.
That's true, but yeah, it's. I think Ross was arguably the most problematic out of all of them. So, but yeah,
But yeah, Nintendo.
That concludes that's Friends sports spoiler cast.
Yeah. You guys, I'll
Like-
set that one out. But yeah, no, it's like it'll be interesting to see what they do, but I don't think they're gonna make any big waves. And to answer your original question, which I kind of derailed, is like Silk Song. No, not a chance.
There you go.
None of
maybe
them.
be showing at PlayStation this tonight, and then because that's the only one they haven't hit yet. They've hit Nintendo, they've hit Xbox. They just need to hit
Sure.
PlayStation
It
and
could
be
be
like,
just
whoa.
one
Second
last
Silk
thing.
Song trailer has hit the internet.
Yes. For audio listeners, Amy was doing the meme of when President Bush was informed that a second airplane had hit the trade center.
Yeah. I take all of my lifetime's worth of traumas and collapse them into humor. It's great. Very helpful.
There you go.
But yeah, no, like I don't think Silk Song shows up all summer. Prove me wrong.
So- It'll be
Ultimately,
hilarious.
I think the big shows, I think, are going to probably be massive letdowns because the industry is in a massive flux right now, and because they all blew their load last year, I don't think they have much coming this year.
Mm.
I know Xbox have what 3 titles that they saying they got fall this year, or
Avowed,
Avowed,
Indiana
Indiana Jones,
Jones.
and that not Age of Empires game, whatever it's called, that I've got on Fantasy Critic. But
It's a good sign when you call it not in Age of Empires.
But yeah,
I wonder if
I'm
we'll
not
see
that-
The
not
Sims
that far away.
5 and Skate.
Our History
is-
Untold, I think it's
yeah.
called.
Skate
yeah.
is an interesting one, Nintendo, when we see that.
I'm baffled
Or if-
EA haven't announced they're doing an EA player. Like They actually have things I want to hear about.
This is why I'm saying I think they're more. I think they just go to shows now. They don't do one because 9 times out of 10, most of their games that the majority of the world play, no one in our small bubble actually wants to see it. No one wants to see the FIFA or the EA Sports, their Madden, their other sports games. They
NCAA
know
football.
they
Yeah,
sell. They don't need to show them anymore. On which they finally listened to us and say, "You don't need to show us. We know it's coming. Don't care." Type of thing.
Yeah,
Dragon
audience that watches this show does not play these games. It's the same thing with Xbox. It's like the audience that's watching your show is not the audience that's going to be receptive to 30 minutes of Call of Duty. Like, I know it's your biggest game and it's going to sell the most copies of anything else this year, but again, it's not about like the gaming audience as a whole. It's about the audience of people who are going to sit down and tune into your showcase. They don't care about Call of Duty. They don't care about FIFA. Rest in peace. They don't care about Madden NFL's story mode, you know, like but now it's like EA, you have like multiple games, and in what I assume is at least an advanced stage of development, and I want to see them, and you're not doing an EA Play. Like all those years I criticized you for not needing to do one, and now I feel like you need to do one, and you're not doing one. Oh, the irony.
That's why like you're probably right. Like some games and Xbox, they'll probably just go there. It's easier for them. They just say, boom, there, take the trailer. We don't need to fucking talk at all. Because deep down, we don't want to see Andrew Wilson at all. Coming out with his squared edge shape and going, I earned 30 million and I sacked about 20% of my workforce this year, people. Oh wait, that was Xbox. That was you, wasn't it, Phil? Sucks to be you. Now AI. Let's talk about AI, guys. Oh, and adverts for your games in your games.
Yep. And I will now retire to my Scrooge McDuck pool of money. Thank you very much. Good night.
Oh no, right? But that would be if that happened, like. That would be amazing, right? Sorry, I just pictured it. Like he doesn't go, I'm gonna retire my Scrooge McDuck mansion. He goes, it's like a Zoom call thing, and then like when he's finished talking, it just zooms out, and he's on the diving board.
Yes,
and he just dives into the pile of gold.
No wonder he's wearing a stripy red and white top.
10 out of 10, 1 E3, no notes.
Andrew Wilson wins E3 by jumping into
EA
a pool of money.
EA won E3. Why? Because they show great games? No, because the ending was amazing.
We should be marketeers, you know that. We should go to the EA and say, we have your marketing plan. Just listen. You're going to win E3. You're going to win, not E3.
You're going to win the whole year.
You need to lean into the evil billionaire.
Why not?
Exactly. Why not? Look, we know he's an evil billionaire. He knows he's an evil billionaire. Why bother hiding it? Lean into it for marketing. Just go all out with it.
Literally be the person that everyone hates. Yeah, and literally say your final thing. Sorry, I'm cutting in there, Vitz. I apologize.
No, I'd say in the pitch we won't say evil billionaire because evil's a bit redundant when it comes to billionaire. But we'll just mention it like that.
No, but billionaires love redundance. They love things that are redundant. You say evil billionaire, you're speaking on their language.
Time to go full heel, Andrew Wilson. Just do it. Stop wearing your shiny suits or your shiny leather, your shiny
made an entire career out of being a heel.
The heel character works, everybody.
It does.
Anyway, speaking of, now let's move away from evil billionaires to doing an indie game of the week. Let's talk about an indie game of the week.
I cannot wait for this game.
This is the thing we do every week where we talk about a cool-looking upcoming indie game. Steam curation page. There's a link in the description. We have a Steam curation page where you can see all of our past indie games of the week. I think we're approaching 100 at this point. And yeah, the link to this game will be in the description as well. Could you help me with the pronunciation, please, Vitz?
Aikyam.
This game is called Aikyam. The village of Aikyam is in turmoil. Chaos reigns supreme following the sudden and mysterious disappearance of the beloved core-mares. Demons, eager to snatch the almighty celestial glue, are preparing to plunge the world into eternal darkness. It's up to Vishva, Rumley, and Guruji to dazzle the hearts of disgruntled villagers with extravagant turn-based battles and rally them against the demons in this Bollywood-inspired fantasy RPG.
Let's fucking go. So, the social media team behind Aikyam have been teasing, 3 days ago, 5 days ago, whatever it is, up until the reveal trailer, and it is adorable. It's one that's been on my wish list already, but I'm so glad that we're showcasing it here as well. The devs were kind enough to thank me for my kind words and to say how excited I am. This will be a game that hopefully I'll get a chance to stream as well. But yeah, it's a turn-based RPG, and the art style and the art direction is all different kinds of cute. It's more chibi characters more than anything else, but it is like in this claymation type setting. And yeah, I can't wait for one, this game, and then two, the soundtrack, because it's inspired by Bollywood, and that's something that's very close to my heart. And yeah, I can't wait.
I've seen RRR.
Yes.
That's my entire.
Possibly all
point
you
of
need to
reference.
see.
No, you saw it down here with me.
Uh-huh.
We had a film day that day. What was it? RRR
RRR,
and
Glass Onion. It was because
Glass Onion, yeah.
it was because we also watched Prey, but I wanted to watch those two specifically because I'm morally opposed to having a Netflix account. So every time I go to Moody's house, we have to have a Netflix day. Or I just watch the things that are on Netflix. But no,
yeah, like
this
Friday.
yeah, I'm sure I'll come with a list. But
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
this game looks really cool. I bumped it up to the top of the indie games pile that's on my phone when I saw the trailer that you posted about. And yeah, it looks cool. Like I love a quirky game, like something that's different, right? It's a Bollywood inspired RPG.
Yeah.
Like those words have never been uttered in human history. So
Nope.
that automatically gets my attention.
There you go.
But is there singing in the end of it where you just go na na do do dun, dun, dun.
They'll be singing
I
throughout,
was gonna
and
say, they'll be singing all through
all
it.
the characters will instantly know the choreography, and it's going to be amazing.
Oh, insane.
It's not release date for this game yet, but I'm looking forward
Not
to
as
when it
yet,
drops.
but
Maybe
it
in
does
a week.
remind me to maybe. It does remind me that I need to send both of you a kind of a list of
Yes, you
films
do.
to watch together next time you are down.
Please do.
Fitz is making us a list to watch films together. I mean, oh god.
Imagine these
Some of
films
them are
will
not
be-
on Netflix, so there you go.
Hey, Amy's like, hey.
To be fair, most of them are available on Amazon Prime.
I have that.
Boo.
I need it for Twitch. Cool.
Ah, you
that's-
do, yeah.
Yeah, I tried canceling Amazon Prime once, because I wasn't using any of it. Or
Is it
so
like
I-
easy to cancel a gym membership?
So I thought. No, you just cancel it. Once you find it, you
Nice.
just click the button and cancel it. But the problem
Right.
was, one of the benefits of Amazon Prime that I didn't know was a benefit of Amazon Prime was like you get much longer to keep your stream VODs.
Ah,
Like, and so what happened was I was like, oh, I'm gonna cancel Amazon Prime. Yeah. And then I went on Twitch and I was like, where have all my VODs gone? And I
no
lost
45 days for you.
I lost so many stream VODs. I was like, oh fuck. They're gone now. They're gone. And I couldn't get them back. And I was like, shit, I've made a horrible mistake. So now I keep it.
Speaking of Amazon Prime, people watching, guys, girls, and non-binary pals, if you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Prime Gaming, and that gives you a free sub to use every 30 days. So why not go over to the Words Back Games Twitch channel and give a subscription there?
I got a better idea. Go to twitch.tv/VitzPatel, who's actually
Oh.
streaming, and use it there.
Far too kind.
instead of the Twitch channel as I've been active for like 3 months. I'm getting to it, I swear. Should we take a
That's what we
half-time
all
break?
say. That's what
Yeah,
both
that's
of
what
us
we're all
say.
saying, yeah.
I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
I'm getting to it.
I
Let's
swear, my next one's going to be the next Pokemon game.
Let's take a halftime break. Let's bounce. We'll be
Peace.
back in a minute.
Peace.
Sorry for audio listeners. I wanted to bring us back on Moody doing whatever he's doing. I can't describe it. You're just going to have to watch the video.
You sure
Let's
are.
fucking go.
We're back. What do you want to talk about? No, seriously, what do you want to talk about?
More E3, innit?
Sorry?
More E3, innit?
What E3?
I wanted to
Why did you
touch
say
on...
that? Why did you say that? They take the biggest fucking drink of water I've ever seen anyone take in my entire life.
I take the piss and said it's more E3, innit?
Damn
That's all
you.
I'm saying.
And just dead air as Moody just fucking cannonballs an entire glass of water.
I just want to bring up Sony shooting themselves in the foot and then apologizing for it.
Oh, this was wild. Like,
Before that, I just want to preface that however excited people get for the state of play, which you would have seen by this point in time, don't ever lose sight of the fact that these people laid off 900 people.
yeah.
And
closed the studio. And then opened a new one last week.
Yeah. So for all the hype that we might get over Astro Bot or any first party titles, just be mindful of the people who are suffering because of the poor decisions by the execs. Speaking of poor decisions, Sony apologized after a completely botching interview with Naughty Dog boss Neil Druckmann. So this is a story which we were talking about last week that you may or may not heard of, depending on the quality of the video.
Did we just talk about it? I think we just talked about it in Discord. Because I don't think
Maybe.
it had happened by the time the episode happened last week.
Okay, well, if that was the case, so at the Creative Entertainment Vision conferencing that happened last week, Neil Druckmann was asked to speak about AI technology, and Neil Druckmann, as you imagine, is an individual who is busy working on Last of Us Season 2 TV show over at HBO and whatnot. They wrote a paragraph, submitted it to whichever PR person was asking for the quote. And what happened was they, in their infinite wisdom, decided to re-edit it into something completely different from what...
I want to read the story because the timeline is crazy. So yeah, he's asked the questions. Druckmann appeared to suggest AI technology would, quote, revolutionize, end quote, game development. It was also claimed, he said, Naughty Dog's next project could, quote, redefine mainstream perceptions of gaming, end quote. And as Vitz and Moody remember, I had a strong reaction to all of those statements in our Discord chat. But as the story goes on, with the interview drawing scrutiny, it's mild, Druckmann hopped on Twitter to explain his, quote, words, context, and intent were unfortunately lost, end quote, during the editing process. He then showed a screenshot of his, quote, long rambling answer, end quote, to provide a clearer picture of what was said. Notably, that screenshot indicates Sony didn't simply edit Druckmann's answers, but actually penned completely new statements that were then attributed to him.
It's wild. The man did this on a Sunday as well.
Sorry, Neil. We don't like your answer. We're going to take over now.
It's good, but it's not right. It's not what I got down on the card.
That's not what I've got.
It's not too corporate enough yet.
It wasn't even that it was corporate. It was just that it's like they way overblew it. And whoever sat down and signed this off, like at Sony HQ, and was like, yes, this is it. Like, all that stuff about redefining mainstream perceptions of gaming or whatever, like sign that off. I don't know how they thought it was going to go down any other way than it did. Everybody was going to make fun of you because it was stupid.
So they posted in their a latest statement, quote, in reviewing our recent interview with Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann, we have found several significant errors and inaccuracies that don't represent his perspective and values, in parentheses, including topics such as animation, writing technology, AI, and future projects.
Everything he said.
Everything he said reads the statement that now has replaced the interview. Quote, we apologize to Neil for misrepresenting his words and for any negative impact this interview might have caused him and his team. In coordination with Naughty Dog and SIE, we removed the interview.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know what went through your heads. Why would you make up things for him to say?
Aye.
Like, what the fuck? And then boy just comes out with receipts being like, no, I said this. because everybody thinks I'm an idiot now, so I've got to show them what I actually said.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was just crazy. Like, thing is, like, this speaks to a bigger problem that we're facing, which is the death and destruction of video game journalism. Because this is client journalism. This was published. This was an interview that was conducted and published by Sony. So, like, this
Yeah.
was them talking to themselves.
The call's coming from inside the house.
Yeah, like, because a journalist wouldn't have edited Neil Druckmann's words. That would be
No.
completely against ethical journalism. So now that we don't have many of those ethical journalist sites, and Sony are doing it themselves, they can just make up whatever the fuck they want.
Yep.
Like, if Neil had never come out and said, "No, I said this," like we
Yeah.
would have.
You have to take it as verbatim.
Yeah, you have to take it as face value. But it's interesting. I don't think a lot of people saw this. Like, I know a lot of people in the circles that I run in saw this because I run in video game circles. But it's just like, there's a part of me now that's just like, can I trust anything Sony puts out?
Yeah, 100%.
Because like, if they're willing to do this, and this higher profile, like, because everybody was going to see a Neil Druckmann interview, especially where he says his next game is going to redefine the mainstream perception of video games, like, and then those stakes are relatively high. It's like, well, what about every other press release they ever put out?
Yeah.
Like, can I trust all of the words in that, or has someone at Sony decided to maybe just make some stuff up?
Yeah, the team who's posting to blog.playstation.com, like, they must be sweating bullets right now.
Yeah, it's just like, well, the next blog post you put out where you say something and it seems like it might not be true, it's going to be like, well, I'm just going to take it as that it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless it comes directly from the source and they are quantifying what they're saying.
Yeah, and they are saying,
It's
yeah,
up for
they're
grabs.
holding up today's newspaper in a
Yeah.
screenshot and being like, yes, I definitely said this.
The thing is about this is that, like, journalism is already takes a bash anyway. Like, 9 times out of 10, it's that you're not really asking actual good questions against the people who have arguably got
Softballing,
something. You're always softball them all the time, or we're getting some corporate answer from the interviewee, and it's just we get some crap statement all the time as well. So it's like, it's always, nothing really goes really well when it comes to just writing or journalism and intent in general. And when like your Amy, what you're saying is spot on. Like, it's a Neil Druckmann article, people are going to pay attention to it right now at the end of the day. And to see that this has happened, and like, he's come out literally with receipts saying, no, this is what I said, you motherfuckers. Basically, Neil Druckmann, who literally just went to his bosses and went, you fucked up, take that down. Basically, Neil Druckmann just basically had his bosses over his leg, and he was telling them off like a baby. And it was really
made
funny.
me look like a bigger idiot than Peter Molyneux.
There you go. Yeah.
And that's really difficult because he keeps saying stupid shit. Yeah. When it comes to like journalism and everything like that, like, for me, I think that's been going the way with the dodo for a long time, and it sucks. It does suck because when people nail it, like, they nail it and everything.
Yeah.
Like I saw like I think on Bluesky from Rachel Valentine, like, we shout her out. Rebecca Valentine, sorry, thank you, David. Rebecca Valentine, like, we shout her out all the time, saying like, she's one of like the real true journalists out there, still doing the thing that we want to see and everything.
Despite Ziff Davis's best efforts to quash all that.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's like, but it's just like she's come out and like even like said like stuff against like the people who she works with. This thing, it's like, no, don't come at me saying I'm doing the only good thing because you're not liking things over on that side. That's not my fault and everything like that. And I work with these people; they're working their asses off and everything. And they're completely like. Sometimes you just need to hear things to get your eyes open, and then she's completely spot on there and everything. So it's like, things are changing in an ever entertainment media and a landscape, and some of it can be for the good, and some of it sadly is for the bad. Freaking job losses, companies buying up companies, and more job losses, and consolidation, and everything. But then
only
you see...
this week, we've heard that Vox Media have signed a deal with an AI company, which for audio listeners, Amy just died again on the inside. And it's one of these where essentially they signed a deal with an AI company, which is going to essentially train itself on all the work of everything that's part of the Vox Media group at the moment. And I'm sure that won't be used for any nefarious things, which will result in any more job losses. Nope, not one.
That's not a surprise when it comes...
Yeah, sure. Sorry, Moody, I gotta go.
No,
yeah, like, it's like, yeah, sure. It will result in job losses. I'm not laughing. That's not what I'm laughing about. It's like, AI can't even be used for nefarious purposes because it's fucking stupid. Like, anybody who's tried to use Google for the last 2 weeks will know that Polygon and The Verge and all of the other Vox Media properties are about to just start pumping out complete nonsense.
Yep.
And like the issue there is like misinformation is just gonna spread. Is already a problem. It's just gonna spread like wildfire, and people are gonna go, well, it's in this Polygon article, or it's in this Verge article, and like, it's just like, I'm done. You go, Moody.
No, I was going to say, it's like that's a Rupert Murdoch thing. Of course, he was going to buy a freaking AI and everything. It's like he was going to go straight into that. But yeah, it sucks. But like it's good to see like Neil came out and literally said, "No, I didn't say all this. If you are twisting my words like crazy," and like he seriously didn't even say any of the shit basically. And it's just like, come on, guys. He's like arguably he's one of your biggest faces of the company right now, and you're literally just throwing him basically out there to the wolves. And unless he said something, which thankfully he did, to shut everyone up, like it's really weird. Like Sony normally don't say shit. Yeah, they're very, very quiet. Like
it's the opposite of Xbox
all the time. Yeah, they're very opposite. But now for the last month they've been the opposite, and they've just done everything what Xbox did by just stepping in every rake they can to hit themselves in the face. Helldivers 2 debacle, Ghost of Tsushima debacle. Go on.
That's because the share price dropped when PS5 sales forecasts were reduced. So the share price went down, stocks plummeted. Therefore, the execs had to say something and started coming out making these statements in order to build trust in their most valued of people, the shareholders.
Yeah, the idiots. Yeah.
Well, it's not just a month, because I remember they've done something weird like this before. It was a while ago, and I don't remember which game it was, but I know we talked about it on the podcast, where it's like they put out a preview of their own game. Like, and not just like, oh, they released a trailer, or oh, they talked to a developer. It's like, no, like, you know those previews that you get from like third-party YouTubers and
your media outlets,
media outlets? It's like, no, they did one of their own and talked about how great the game was, and it's just like, it's the Obama giving himself a medal meme. It's like,
that's 2 presidential memes for those who keep track.
That's 2 presidential memes. Like they've been doing weird stuff like this for a while. It's just like, yeah, it's super weird. Like, why make up words for one of your creative directors to say that's going to make him look like a fool?
Mr. President, the second meme has been referenced.
The second meme is the podcast. I don't know, like for example, to what you were talking about, to like sort of put a cap on this. It's like for all the problems I have with certain video game pundits, like they would never make up a thing that Neil Druckmann said to put in an article.
Yes.
like there's a line that they won't cross, and apparently that's a line that PlayStation is comfortable crossing on their own terms.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing the next interview.
Can we quickly touch on some related Naughty Dog news? Speaking of the Last of Us TV show, season 2 cast Jeffrey Wright as Isaac, who you may know as the voice actor from Isaac from the video game. So this is just a neat little story where Jeffrey Wright, who you may know as the voice of the Watcher in Marvel's What If, and from James Bond Casino Royale and other roles like that, Westworld and things. They are being on season 2 of The Last of Us by HBO. I think they're obviously subjectively and anecdotally, I think their character was woefully underutilized within the game itself. So I'm hoping for a much more expanded role here in season 2. But yeah, looking forward to it.
I won't lie, like I bet they were thinking, "Oh, thank God he didn't win the Oscar because his price would have gone up." Because he was in for the running for it. He was like third favorite and everything, so it's just like he could have gone up there. But no, yeah, it's like his role is in the game it's like very small. His role, I think you see him like 3 times, but he's mentioned throughout it. Like he's an overall, he's a shadow on it.
He's
just
a
like
looming presence.
it's a looming presence throughout of it. I won't lie, I forgot about it until that big pivotal scene happens with him and Laura Bailey's character, which I'm forgetting right now. Abby, thank you.
She's the golfer.
She's the
PGA world number 1.
Won the PGA Tour. The tours.
All you TV show fans, you're gonna get that reference soon enough. Don't worry.
Yeah, next year probably. But no, yeah, it's I do hope like he has a bigger role in the show. Like they're expanding it and everything. Like there's potential for this, like for the game in general. Like they could do like 2 seasons from this, so his role could be massively bigger and whatnot. Because I think that would be a better thing to do if they do that. But with also how like he's already hired for it, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting how they're gonna tackle this season. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Jeffrey Wright's an amazing actor. There's nothing wrong with adding talent. So
no, 100%. I think with movies and TV shows, things aren't shot usually chronologically. So like with movies, you'll typically shoot the ending scenes, the one of the first things you'll shoot when it comes to just scenes and stuff. And I know they spoke about The Last of Us Part 2 being 2 seasons worth of television. So it might be that they film everything up close in like a 6-month production shoot, and then they'll worry about editing it in to be 2 seasons worth of television. So it might just be that we get Jeffrey Wright in, we shoot all these scenes, and then we don't actually see them on screen until season 3 of The Last of Us and that kind of thing. But time will tell.
Essentially, they got Pedro Pastel already done and dusted, so he's like, "Hey, I'm off to make Fantastic Four now. Bye, peace." That's
Mr.
not
Fantastic
foreshadowing
himself.
at all, guys. I come in like Thor in Infinity War. Bring me Thanos! Bring me that golfer!
There you go.
It may not have worked, but still, that still said it. So what?
It went places. That's for sure.
It went places indeed. It went places indeed. Let's go to the thing that we talked about last week and then literally they announced it on the day we did our podcast. Devolver has announced the date for its summer showcase.
Yes.
It sure did.
And Amy looks like she's broken or frozen.
No, I'm still here.
No. She's there. She's fine.
Hello.
Yeah, awesome. What's the thing?
June 7th.
I'm very interested to see how this is going to go and everything, because obviously they are now a publicly owned company to abide to shareholders. So I'm very intrigued how they're going to go along with this.
They're in the honeymoon phase. Then they can do whatever they want for a while. Whatever was making them a successful company, it's only in a few years when the share prices go down that they'll have to change their entire identity.
I will stand that it wasn't the showcase that made them a successful company. It was their games.
No, I'm not saying the showcase was what made them. I'm saying the showcase was very popular. They can do what they want with it, but in a few years it'll slowly become just
go with the dodo.
It'll slowly become just another E3 showcase.
Yeah, it'll be more straight laced as the years go on, that kind of thing. Yeah. Where would you like to go next, friends?
Should we talk about some games?
Sure.
The games?
Play some games.
As we alluded to at the start of the show, I've been playing some games this week.
Doesn't play any fucking games for like 2 months and then comes in with fucking 5.
Wake me up when Vince is done.
Yeah, no worries. No, Moody, we you can't go to sleep. We bullied him into playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. We have to at least listen to what he thinks of it.
I have seen it. I've watched both his things. I was there for one of them.
Yeah, so friends, as Amy alluded to, they convinced me very thoroughly to give Yakuza Like a Dragon a go, and indeed I have, and I've been streaming it on my channel, twitch.tv/slash Vits Patel, in a series that I like to call #VitsPlays. Yeah, so we're 2 episodes in. I'm in the middle of chapter 2 as it stands, and I'm enjoying it. This game holds no punches when it comes to the story it's trying to tell. I think the characters are obviously we're starting to warm up to Ichiban, the Yakuza member with the heart of gold, and it's one of these where yeah, we're still in the midst of learning the game's mechanics and the tutorial phase and things like that. But yeah, it's a game which I can see getting hooked into me. I'm hearing a lot of the voice cast is many familiar sounds that we're hearing. So the police commissioner, whose name escapes me now, is the same voice actor who voices Sojiro in Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal, and the voice actor behind Aunt Kamaki from Persona 5, she's in this game as well. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more familiar faces that I hear, and I'm like, oh no, oh snap, that it's this person kind of thing. And it's yeah, it's really fun, and I'm enjoying being able to share that with everybody who comes by the stream or checks it out on YouTube as a high quality VOD. So yeah, I think I'm in with this game and will play it through to completion. I understand it's a very, very long game, but
yeah.
we are very much looking forward to it. At the moment, I'm stopping over every like arcade that we come across because I really want to see what these arcade games are, but I think for story reasons it's kind of locked for the moment. So hopefully as I continue to play and I exit whatever's at the end of this sewer system that I'm currently in, then that will that will reveal itself.
Yeah.
But I have one party member, and yeah, they have magnificent hair that blows in the winds, and especially during cutscenes. And I was talking to Amy yesterday about it, so I'm now completely fascinated, not so much with what Ichiban or whoever else is in the cutscene is saying, it's what the NPCs are doing behind them. How they will walk, they'll be walking in shot with their cell phone, look up, and then just turn around, do a quick 180 and go the other way. So that's our new game of people watching now. It's watching what the NPCs do in Yakuza's cutscenes.
Good.
Yeah. This is this one I never finished, but I know like all about it and everything like that for the most part, just from the enthusiasm when Amy played it and reviewed it and everything. So. I didn't really get truly into these games until Lost Judgment 2. Like when I watched Amy played Lost Judgment 2. And then I was just like, I now have to go and become a lawyer and beat up kids in that game. And that's basically
I'm
what
glad you
happened.
clarified that.
I was always going to clarify that, don't worry. And then obviously I played it, Like a Dragon 2 this year, which is for me probably still my favorite game so far this year. And it's like it just but I could tell just for the amount of what I played of Like a Dragon, Ichiban is like one of the best characters in the last 10 years. He's such a good, endearing character that he's just lovable, and you just love him. You just love him, and you just want to wrap him up and not hurt, make sure he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, because for the little that I've
Shame
seen,
the story has all our ideas.
yeah, from the little I've seen, obviously he attaches himself to Akado-san in terms of the family, and I think he's always constantly looking for like this father figure. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. And he put all of his eggs in this one basket, and then obviously when he comes out of prison, that is not the case. And yeah, it's kind of he's now a fish out of water in the 2018 2019, whenever this game is set, kind of thing. And yeah, it's funny watching him adapt to what the hell's a smartphone and then having to be taught how to use it by a very dashingly dressed gentleman.
I don't want to give anything away, so.
But yeah,
I'm just glad you're
friends,
enjoying it.
we did it. We got there. We got over the hurdle, and we've started Yakuza Like a Dragon.
And I am not gonna say I told you so. Everybody has to everybody has to experience my weird superpower of being able to recommend games to people firsthand before they get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. I don't know how I do it.
Now, can you assist me in recommending Persona 5 Royal to Moody?
No.
So we're gonna miss.
It's not that I don't. It's not. I know you'd like it, and I know you'd love it. It's just that you won't play it, so I'm not gonna waste my energy on it.
Okay.
I'm putting my eggs in the Persona 6 basket.
Okay. So when the hype is there and everybody, okay, right.
When the new one comes out.
Let's hope he likes the color green.
Yeah, it's the green one, isn't it? Yeah, I reordered the games check-in so that it wasn't just Vitz talking for like a big thing. I put it in an order so we all take turns.
Yeah.
I've been playing. So I'd taken a break from Mass Effect video making, and I started playing. I was gonna play a Wind Waker, and then I was like, I had the thing open, and I realized I had the collector's edition disc. That was released on GameCube with the 4 Zelda games on it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play Ocarina of Time. Why not? Like, it's only the best reviewed game in history.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give it
friends,
a shot.
this is on a CRT TV, not like a modern monitor or anything like that.
No, yeah, like this was the whole reason I set up my retro corner so I could play.
Absolutely,
the game looks great. Like I think like all this graphical fidelity and horse testicle games and stuff, and it's just like nah. Like these games still look great on the correct. Like
as the hardware intended,
as the hardware intended, like it still looks really nice. But like Ocarina of Time, pretty good game. Who knew? Like I even played I've sort of played it. It was one of those where my friend had a Nintendo 64, and we played it together. But this is the first time I've sort of had my hands on the controller, and it's a GameCube controller. So
yes,
I have to keep trying to fight the impulse to control the camera with the C stick on the GameCube controller, which is like just the right analog stick, because that's not what it does. Doesn't control the camera. So that's kind of been interesting, where it's just like, instead of turning around, it's like I'm pulling a stick out of my backpack. But no, it's a lot of fun. Like I'm having a great time, finding all the secrets, remembering stuff like, oh, there's a shield down here, like trying new things, and it really, like Ocarina of Time really does reward you for experimenting. It's like, oh, what about this? Like, what if I do this here, and then boom, a thing happens. But yeah, I'm not that far into it. Like I haven't gained the ability to time travel yet. I'm still doing like the dungeons that you do before that. The controls are a little awkward because like I'm just used to 2024 third person games as opposed to like 1998 third person games, like the first ever 3D Zelda. And like the GameCube the GameCube port specifically has a bug where whenever you bring up the menu, it takes the game freezes for like a second or 2 seconds, and you have to bring up the menu a lot in The Legend of Zelda.
You sure do.
So it's starting to be a bit of an annoyance, but like apart from that, like it's real fun. Like I'm having a great time.
Awesome.
I'm not bringing the Metacritic score down, I don't think.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I've recently reinstalled the one and only Elden Ring 4. We are all foul tarnished. But one thing I wanted to do to get back up to the speed of things is something that my partner was trying out as well, was Another Crab's Treasure. So for those who don't know, this is a game which, for all intents and purposes, is styled to be a Souls game, only it's brightly colored and set underwater and you play as a crab. And as one accessibility...
To get up to speed with Elden Ring, you thought, I'll play not Elden Ring.
Yeah, I mean, I reinstalled the game, I downloaded the patches, and then I was like, okay, I didn't want to jump straight back into it, not knowing anything. I know my partner was playing Another Crab's Treasure, and I was like, ooh, that looks fun. Let's jump in. So that's what's happened. So this is a Souls-like for all intents and purposes, but obviously not developed by FromSoft. It's brightly colored. You play as a crab called Krill. And one of the accessibility features, if the game is getting too hard, you can give Krill a gun, and they can one-shot any enemy, including bosses. But I haven't resorted to that as yet. It is difficult, and the first kind of major skill check it puts you up again, it is equivalent to fighting the Tree Sentinel. It is tough, but you get into the swing of things. I have now taken down 2 of the main bosses, and I have just got up to the 3rd. And it's fun. The writing is very cute and very whimsical. The voice acting is scant, but the voice acting where there is really funny and really well done. So I can see myself getting deep into this as well. And it's nice just to see the kind of design language from Souls games brought over to this. So the items which would work the same as golden runes and what would work as talismans and things like that, and just how those mechanics kind of transport over. But if you're into a game with more apparent accessibility options in terms of difficulty settings, and as I say, giving Krill a gun, then another Crab's Treasure might be the one for you.
It's like the meme, Lord of the Rings. Lord of
Yeah.
the Rings if Merry and Pippin had a gun.
Yes.
And it's like, this is the Lord of the Rings. This is trying to get a gun off Merry and Pippin.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
But friends, I hear someone is down to Duel.
Damn right. I even went out and bought cards.
Look at that.
Did you get turquoise eyes, pink dragon?
Yes, yes. The rarest of all cards, yes.
I'm contractually
doubt.
obligated to make that joke every time.
Even rarer than Blue Eyes White Privilege.
Exactly. The privileged of all privileged. No doubt about
Sorry,
it.
I made Amy die again inside.
We just call that a Labour MP. Sorry, Moody. Go ahead.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, the bastard's got me. It's got me back. It's got me again.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, sons of bitches, basically. So they released 2 gaming updates, and I thought, yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's have a look season and whatnot. So I gave it a try, and I was like, damn it. I've just played this for like 7 hours.
That's awesome.
I was going to play another game. Forget you, Hellblade. Fuck you. Something like that, yeah. It's like, if anyone knows what Master Duel is, you know what it is. It's a card game. You play up on the iconic Yu-Gi-Oh game out there. You play against other competitive players, overplayers, just say. And you work. You just play. You can unlock cards by just constantly playing, and you eventually get enough gems, or you can do the stupid thing and like buy gems and everything like that. That's what always happens when it's a free game. We knew it was going to be. I think I even mentioned it when I reviewed it a couple of years ago on the channel for it. I've played so hard on this game right now that I've got myself for the first time ever in Diamond Ranked, and I'm like, fuck.
Nice.
I'm like, what the hell have I done? I've just played way too much of it, and it's disgusting. And I'm like, the annoying thing is that, like, I don't want to be here. I want to be playing on the game right now. So don't take that in the wrong way to Ivy is. But yeah, I've been having the itch and everything, and it's like really good. It's like, this was one of my top 10 games when it came out. I absolutely do adore this game. I play it all just for leisure, but with that leisure can get very competitive with me, and I'm having a lot of fun time right now. They've brought in some new cards that I've just really. It's the worst thing about this game is there can be a massive learning curve to it, especially if you go for certain type of decks. Thankfully, they've put in some new decks that are really easy to learn. So I'm just like, yes, give me that, baby. And then they've got me up to Diamond Ranked, and it's like really, really good. And I'm having a lot of fun right now. Don't know how long it'll last. I always go through this. It's the same when it comes to Pokemon. I know I'm going to have a Pokemon Blast eventually, sooner or later. I always do. I go off it and then I come back to it. And yeah, it's the same for Yu-Gi-Oh! I go off it and then I come back to it. So right now I'm back into it. And it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
This is Moody's Queen's Blood, as it turns out.
Basically, yeah.
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 Awesome. So, typically on this very podcast,
It's
every
driving
month
time.
it is driving time, and I come here and I have a bit of a rant, and I draw out my soapbox and have a good old rant about Gran Turismo. Don't worry, my friends, that rant is coming for it is update 1.48, but we're not going to talk about that yet. So I thought we're always getting the very healthy advice to why don't you try a different driving game? And I say, well, I like the feel of Gran Turismo and all the rest of it, but I thought, you know what, let's do it. So I gave Assetto Corsa Competizione a run out, and this game came out in 2020 by Kunos, and it's published by 505 Games. And this is a hardcore driving sim game centered around GT cars. So SRO's GT World Championship Series by Pirelli, and so on and so forth. And initially, it was really, really good. They open you career mode. You take part in a young driver's test, driving a Lamborghini Super Trofeo, and you get to build a team. And I thought, all right. So you get yourself as one of the drivers, then you get to create 2 other drivers in your team. So I created Scuderia Jabroni, and I put the one and only Andy Nitro Rifle Cortez in, and Snowbike Mike Howard in as my second driver. And they put me in the first race, and this is where things got incredibly boring. So it gives you a 10-minute practice section. That's fine. Then it gives you a 10-minute qualifying session. That's fine too. And as part of the tutorial missions it sets you up on, it says, okay, do a bunch of laps, and then we'll recommend what difficulty to set you on. So I go out and I do my laps, and I'm 1.7 seconds faster a lap than whoever's in P2. And for some reason or another, it recommends...
Mass Verstappen right here,
but it recommends that I start on easy. And I'm not sure if this was a bug or anything. So I restarted and I re-rolled a new character and all the rest of it, and I did it again. And then it still did the same thing. And what I discovered was that they never really fixed it so it actually recommended you a level. It just set itself as easy, and then you're supposed to click through, but never actually told you that kind of thing. So I set it to whatever difficulty was appropriate and all the rest of it. And we moved on. So the point of these extra drivers is that during the races, you're supposed to come into the pits, change tires, change fuel, but also change drivers. So you have a maximum drive time allotted to each driver, and you're supposed to manage it that way. The trouble is, you're also driving those other characters. So a 40-minute race is not you just doing a 20-minute stint and then having the game simulate the rest of the race to say, oh, what did Andy do? Who's in the car kind of thing. No, so it's just you doing all the driving, and it's kind of, okay, so what are you adding new to the table? And it's adding nothing. So the fun went completely out of it, because if I'm not having that race management as well as race driving experience of this, then it's no different from what I've been getting. And the handling is competent enough, and I'm lucky enough to have a PC that runs this game relatively well. And it's kind of like I burst out behind this blanketed thing here. It's not a ghost. It is my driving wheel, and I bolted out to my PC to give it a go. And it's just one of these where they were close to the mark, but again, it was just it's an underbaked product when it comes to the career mode. I hear the multiplayer is really, really good and competitive and all the rest, but that's just not my my cup of tea. So, with all that said, Gran Turismo had an update.
The whole point of saying, hey, why don't you just try a different driving game, was to try a good driving game.
This was supposedly the best one out there. I read reviews, and I've even looked into Automobilista 2, which has a mod, which is a really good career mode, but it's one that exists outside the game. So essentially, it's a separate application, and then you set your driver up in there, and you sign a sponsor and all the rest of it, and then it tells you, okay, these are the championships you should enter. But then you have to go back into the game and create custom championships based on whatever this app is telling you. So it's a whole lot of extra work that should have been in the game to begin with. And reading up in terms of when the developers were supposed to include a career mode, from 2 years ago, they just said, oh yeah, it's coming. It's something that's going to be on the end game content. But ain't nobody got time for that right now. If I'm looking for a new game, this was supposed to be the game, but it failed. But friends, Gran Turismo 7 had another update. So 1.48 came out today
That
at
is
the time we're
right.
recording. And no,
Ah,
it unveiled, it brought 5 new cars, which is more than we typically get. And that's all well and good. One of them happened to be a Volvo 280. So when you think of a Volvo car and you think of an estate car and you think of an old one of those, they brought one of those to the game in a racing game. I'm sure it has some fans, but it has no place in a Turismo game. And then the races it did include, they could be done in around about 45 minutes of playtime, which is better than the 15 minutes of playtime we got previous month. But again, I put some posts out on social media to say, responding to the official Gran Turismo account saying, you know, it looks like you're doing this on purpose, blah, 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 blah. Of course, people came back at me and tried to reason with me that no, we deserve this type of content and all the rest of it. But no, that's a load of nonsense. And this weekend happens to be the Nürburgring 24-hour, and they are adding new events for the game. And I thought, great. Will there be these endurance events that Kazunori Yamauchi-san and the team have been promising for over 2 years now? Nope. They're going to be short sprint races because that's all this game apparently can do, and the team isn't motivated to do anything otherwise. So it's another disappointing update. They bought the 2000 Honda Japanese Touring Car Championship winning car, which is great. It was one of the hero cars of Gran Turismo 3. People were really, really excited about it. Did they add any events to use this car in? Did they bollocks? What they added was what they refer to as an extra menu book, which is a challenge, not when you're racing cars, but when you're buying cars. Because this whole thing is got to collect them all. And the reward was when you bought this particular car along with 2 other cars, then it gave you a nice cutscene of, oh, how great was this car back in the day when it was running all these races and all the rest of it. So it's a load of nonsense. And that concludes this month's rendition of Gran Turismo 7, The Soapbox.
I look forward to next month, where I'm sure everything is going to be improved.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. It's time for OpenCritic Head-To-Head. This is the game we play every week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point, but if you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of 2 games. The first one was 9 Souls from Red Candle Games Studios. Red Candle people.
Yep.
And it doesn't have any reviews. Not a one. 0 reviews. It's sold well by the looks of Steam. Like Steam's review page tells me that it's sold decently well. No one's reviewed it. So
Too busy playing it. They're having too much fun.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But we also try to guess the OpenCritic average of F1 24. Moody, you guessed it would get an 85. Vitz, you guessed it would get an 80. I guessed it would get a 78. At the time of recording, F1 24 has an OpenCritic average of 82, which means Vitz gets 1 point. Just one.
Oh, just one, but I'll take it.
The streak's broken.
But the comeback can truly start now. Now we've broken the curse of having 2 2-2s. Yeah.
2-2-2. Yeah. Now the comeback is on.
We're pulling away from draws, which is on 5. So the comeback is on.
Yes, that leaves the scores at Amy 17, Moody 20, Vitz 7, draws 5, which is more draws than we've ever had in this game, and we're not even halfway through the year yet. Is anyone going to play F1 24?
No, from the garbled mess that we spoke about last week when Discord was having its moment. No, the physics engine looks to be completely broken and taken from essentially an arcade racing game. So cars are drifting around corners, which seems fun, but I think is not what people were looking for. For a lot of the community was saying that this game has now exclusively been designed to be played with a controller, which is all well and good. But it isn't what the core audience of F124, who the original intent was for this game, is this game's not going to resonate with them anymore. So I'm certainly not giving it a go, mostly because EA and Codemasters haven't been able to make a decent F1 game since they got the license. So yeah.
I'm not decided yet.
You'll be playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's made this decision for you. Anyway, we've got one game to guess the Open Critic average of this week. Destiny 2, the final shape, is finally releasing.
Mm-hmm. Sadly, subject to a leak today. Apparently,
Getting delayed.
no, apparently in game someone was able to access all the content before they were supposed to, and then made several posts about it. So, which is a huge shame for the team, which is already obviously in battle with the number of layoffs that team has been impacted. And
if I got early access to a game like that, like in that way, I wouldn't tell anyone. It would be my little special little secret. I might tell you guys, be like,
yeah,
fuck, look what I just did.
Exactly,
and then I would tell everyone.
Yeah, they decided they want to be the main character for the
game. But yeah, no, Destiny 2, the final shape. I always think I want to go back to Destiny 2. But then I remember they deleted a bunch of the campaign, and I'm like, the only way they get me to play it again is if they put it all back. Like, so I could play the original campaign from like start to finish. As far as the final shape goes, I don't know, man. I've had some.
I remember the meta for that game was shooting into a cave at one point. It was like an infinite loot spawning cave.
Yeah, I remember that. I've got a friend who plays it, talks about it a lot, and at this moment in time, I really wish I'd paid more attention. Let's go with an 80 minus server issues, so 76.
Okay.
It's my formula.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's gonna get, but it's also gonna have login problems.
Yeah. Mr. Moody, action on you, my friend.
Goes about.
Okay, you must know what Destiny 2 is.
I know what Destiny 2 is.
He's looking at what this leaked content was.
He's just quickly speeding through a playthrough of it.
70.
Okay, and then it falls to me. I'm gonna be a bit cheeky here and go 77.
No.
Just to hedge my bets.
The Moody strategy.
Mr. Moody, you happen to be in the lead here, so
strategy.
Yeah, which has been significantly cut back since
but there's also a note here that says
thing at the bottom of this whole item.
Exactly. There's a note here that says Moody has already won this game in February.
And I stand by that.
100%.
Yeah, Destiny 2, the final shape.
Hell yeah.
Maybe one day I'll get back into Destiny 2. Put the campaign back. That's all I'm asking. All of
there you go.
The original game, the campaign from the original game, all of the expansions that you released, put it all back in the game. I'll download it and I'll play the whole thing. Swear to God.
Hell yeah.
But that's gonna do it for this episode of the Words About Games podcast, number 405. Moody, it's your time to shine.
Don't have to say it this fast this time, do I?
No, you don't have to say it this fast. Sounded like a robot rapping last time. It was really funny.
It was awesome. I was like, what the fuck? Can we monetize this somehow?
you couldn't tell because of the technical issues, so I was literally keeled over laughing. Like,
what up, everybody? You've made it. Another day is behind you. Another week has passed. We are all proud of you. You are special. You deserve the absolute best. You are truly good enough. You are doing great. We believe in you. One step at a time, one day at a time, one dream at a time. Live long and prosper. High five the sky. Fuck labor and the Tories.
yeah. That's
the power.